So it is here, it is officially E3 time. I've been sat at home in my nice UK region, so all of the conferences have been at the completely wrong time zone, but even still, day one of E3 is complete. We've had several big conferences, and if you don't really count EA as day one anyway, we've had Xbox, we've had Bethesda, and we've had Devolver Digital all coming in one day. And I figured let's go sit down and have a little chat about it. I live streamed most of the Xbox conference, a little bit of the pre-show as well, but Bethesda and Devolver Digital were going on in the middle of night at my time zone, so I hadn't actually seen it until afterwards in today's morning. Obviously for me the big main event is Nintendo on Tuesday, but we're not there yet, and so covering the gap, might as well look at all these other game announcements, and there was some pretty good stuff. I figured I'd talk about my thoughts and potentially how E3 is going this year. If you want to say your own thoughts as well, feel free to join in the conversation. It's just a little fill of fun, really. So starting off with the Xbox conference, they officially started talking a little bit more about Project Scarlet, the next Xbox main console coming out. And for the most part, I hadn't been too invested in it, but I'm a little bit more now that they've actually talked about it. We apparently hear that it's going to be 4 times more powerful in performance based on the previous generation. It's going to have reduced load times, which, I mean, I figure is pretty standard and normal. Plus, if games are going to get bigger and more powerful, then the load times will surely end up the same because it's loading more, but faster. Whatever. The console could run at 120 frames per second, which, I mean, I'm not usually crazy on frames, but I mean, that's pretty impressive. 8K? Cool, no one has 8K TVs, but I'll take it. And backwards compatibility across 4 generations of Xbox games. That is a big point to me. I'm currently considering getting maybe an Xbox or a PlayStation, and the release date does seem to be set for holiday 2020, so probably Christmas 2020. So I'm considering maybe getting a console now and while I go into my new house, and then maybe I'll get this new Xbox console when it comes out. I'll have to see what PlayStation has up their sleeves, but they're not at E3 this year, so I guess Xbox gets the first step in that one, huh? Another major thing Xbox revealed was Halo Infinite, coming with a Scarlet release as well. This is the big new Halo, and it's got a nice little cinematic trailer. I enjoyed it. I was admittedly more invested when it was about a family man stuck in a submarine that turned out to be in space. Honestly, as an actual game, I'm not convinced on it yet. It's obviously for the super hyper fans, but I'm Halo'd out. I mean, I played Halo 3 and Halo Reach back in the day, but I'm done. I've seen mine. I've seen enough. Then again, maybe I could be convinced in the future. I don't really know. Cyberpunk 2077 was obviously the main big thing as well going on. Not only did we hear the release date of April 2020, but we know that Keanu Reeves, of all people, is making an appearance. Honestly, I'm more interested in Keanu Reeves and IRL than him actually being in the game, but the game itself looks pretty cool. I was more invested from the 40 minutes of gameplay because it was 40 minutes of gameplay, but hey, I'm still on the hype train for Cyberpunk 2077, and if Keanu Reeves loves the game, then surely it's not too bad for us either. And I hope we see more of him getting into the gaming market. He's clearly very breathtaking.
You're breathtaking!
Gears 5 was also very much revealed, and they did a good job revealing a bunch of stuff. Like, we saw the Fractured Mind trailer, which, I'm sure that's interesting to fans. Escape mode looks cool, but incredibly stressful. There's a Terminator playable character. They're releasing a multiplayer tech test in July. There's an arcade mode and a horde mode available in August, and it launches in September. There's so much great stuff revealed, and there's all sorts of details. And though I'm personally not invested into Gears, looks pretty good as a reveal, and I'm sure the fans will be ecstatic for that. Though there was also the Gears Pop game, Pop Funko, that I was actually kind of hoping would be good. It's not. I was really rooting for it, and I liked it at first. I liked the Lego-style voiceless cutscenes, and then the gameplay just looked like actual meh mobile games. It's a shame, but oh well, what can you do? One of the other major things Xbox revealed was the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. I was very much out of the loop of this before. I hadn't been paying nearly as much Xbox attention as maybe I should have as a gamer fan, but we'll see. In general, this service sounds great. A subscription service for access to new games is wonderful. And it's also available for PC now, which is fantastic. Over 100 games by August and only $9.99 a month. I love it. Not to mention they added Batman Arkham Knight, Metro Exodus, Hollow Knight, Borderlands Collection. It sounds like an absolute steal to me. I love it, and I would probably very much get this Game Pass for the PC when I upgrade my PC, when I move into my new house. I'm very on board with that. I'll have to see what games are in there, since none of those were particularly standing out to me other than maybe Hollow Knight, but still, very good to me. I like that. They revealed the new Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2. It looks good. I like the rubber handles. There's not much else to say. But actually, the pre-order price of $180? Ouch. Another thing was Elden Ring. What a wonderful mystery of a game. It's from Software and combined with George R.R. Martin. There's very little to see, and you should never trust a cinematic trailer, but the people behind it are pretty good, so I am successfully intrigued. There's not much more to say, so we'll move on very quickly. Ori and the Will of the Wisps looks great. I've never played the first game, but I do own it, so maybe I'll stream it at some point soon. People have recommended that I should play it, and this gameplay does look nice, though it's more action-packed than I expected. Maybe it's because it's in an Xbox conference, I don't really know. There is the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game, and we are way too oversaturated on Star Wars games. Like, those games are being treated like that cow milk scene in the latest movie. I mean, it looks good so far, but I don't trust EA. I won't be buying it. And even if I was a crazy Star Wars fan, I swear I'd be burned out by now. Borderlands 3 looks nice. I never really got into that series either, but, you know, it's not necessarily a bad reveal. It's not my thing, but I'm sure others will love it. Now, Bleeding Edge looks really interesting. The style is just cranked right up to 100 with some really interesting character designs. It reminds me of that old Once Upon a Time Overwatch rival that never came to be. I can't remember what it was called, but it has that similar style. It could be interesting, though it is still a shooter, albeit a colourful one, so we'll see. Minecraft Dungeons. I was originally far more interested to hear about this when I heard that it was just an original game being made by the same creators as Minecraft, but it's just still within the Minecraft world. It makes sense, and it's clear that they seem to be expanding out the IP since we've gotten that augmented mobile game, but now there's also this Diablo-esque multiplayer adventure, which could be interesting. I would be far more invested in it if it was an actual MMORPG set in the Minecraft world. Like, if it was gigantic open world and all multiplayer online players, great, I would have loved that. I would have probably gotten into that. But 4-player is good enough for me and good enough for some, I guess. Psychonauts 2 was revealed. People rave about that series. It's another one of those ones, though, that flew under my radar. That's not much to tell from the trailer, at least not to me, but Microsoft has taken another studio in, so it's not a bad thing these days, I guess. I don't really have much to say about it. Battletoads looks fun, though. Seeing 3-player couch play is a bit of a new and rare thing to see as an option, but still, I won't be playing it, but I can't wait to watch others suffer instead. There was the ID at Xbox, which I didn't even realize was the name of it. It's basically the montage of indie games, and there were a few that I quite liked. Most of them went over my head, but here's a few that did interest me. Dead Static Drive has a really cool aesthetic, looking like fantasy artwork I'd love to have on a poster somewhere. Way to the Woods looks like the next journey with a really cool concept of deers walking through the world. Is it post-apocalyptic? I'd hope so, because it just, looks wonderful. Spiritfarer has some nice art and animation, though the character designs are awfully animal. I mean, I don't judge. And I really enjoy the black and white color scheme of Nightcall. I don't know, I just want to see what they do with it. I mean, obviously they'll keep it black and white, but you know. Another surprising delight was Phantasy Star Online 2, coming to the West for the first time in 2020, and honestly, it kind of intrigues me. I like the style and the design, and it's free to play. What more's there to hate? Did that make sense? Now, the Outer Worlds. This is the Obsidian-made Fallout/Borderlands game, and honestly, I was more hyped before the trailer, and there might be a few reasons for that. The teaser trailer at first made me think it was all Fallout, but better. This was gonna be the rival against Bethesda, obviously. But the Borderlands thing is less of my kind of thing. So maybe the fact that it's a bit of both makes me less invested. But also, the faces in this trailer just look like old-style face capture. It reminds me of Oblivion and Fallout 3 and obviously New Vegas. So maybe it's just a little bit too downgraded for me at the moment, I don't know. And maybe I just want more of that apocalyptic atmosphere rather than that made-up, posh, fancy corporal design. I don't know, it's not bad, but it's less of my thing now, so I'm a little on the fence about it. Another surprising thing that popped up was Microsoft Flight Simulator. This surprisingly interested me, or at least the concept did, especially if it was a VR game. Being able to literally fly in the skies above the high-definition real world, what an amazing experience that would be. And it sounds so easy of an idea to do as well. And then there was 12 minutes, an intense dramatic murder mystery, being trapped in, I assume, 12 minutes time loops. Just the trailer presentation for it is so simple, just zooming in with this top-down perspective onto the room, but it's just so effective. I love it. Another surprise was Forza Horizon 4 LEGO Speed Champion. I did not expect a reaction out of Forza of all things. You think you see one racing game, you see them all. But the LEGO elements genuinely look fun. The destructible environments, the LEGO cars, even real cars driving around in the LEGO-y land. Although it just kind of makes me want to have another Burnout. Just bump up that destructivity part, please. And then finally, the final point I'm going to talk about with Microsoft's conference this time, Crossfire X, the most blandest, run-of-the-mill, desaturated military action game. A game like no other, you'll never see it again. I had fun actually watching the trailer and making fun of it while I was streaming it. But I'm not invested in the slightest. It's not 2010 anymore, I'm not 13 anymore, I'm not into these games anymore. Overall though, this was a great conference. They've been very to the point with 60 games to show off, big power plays, and a lot of fun games to show. Xbox seems to be improving in my books over the years, and I'm certainly not disappointed this year. I might even get their console next year. So let's move on to Bethesda. Obviously, there were two main games everyone was looking forward to, including me. Elder Scrolls 6, nothing. Kinda disappointing, but I guess we can't be too picky. We only got a teaser trailer last year, and maybe they should have shown it this year, but, you know, I guess we'll get on by. And Starfield, the one I was particularly interested in, because it's space and Bethesda. And we get barely anything on that one too. I can definitely understand on this one though, because it seems like it's even further back on development than maybe Elder Scrolls 6. But these were my two biggest investments, just like everyone else, and it's a shame. Instead, what we got was Fallout 76 getting some free DLC. They're bringing back human NPCs, thank God, and dialogue trees, great. It's a nice return, and it's good steps in the right direction. It doesn't fix the game, but it is improvements. There's also the new Battle Royale game mode, which sounds fun, despite it being the new, soon-to-be oversaturated genre. I'll have to see more of it to get my thoughts properly, but I don't hate it yet. I'm still not buying the game yet, though. There was also Elder Scrolls Blades, not quite the Elder Scrolls game we got, but it's the one that we're getting. It's another Elder Scrolls game on the Switch, actually, and it's free to play. So I'll probably end up picking it up at some point, even if it's not everything I wanted. It's a first-person dungeon crawler. And dungeons were my least favorite part of Skyrim, so oh well. But hey, it's new free content, so I guess I'm not going to complain that much about it. Bethesda also showed off the Orion streaming tech, and it's looking kinda good. It's the industry's step up to going hybrid. I probably won't use it, because I don't really want to play my Bethesda games on a mobile device, but it looks kinda cool, I guess. Can't complain. There was also other things like the Doom Eternal release date, but it's just simply not my thing, so I'd rather not ramble about something I don't care about all that much. But hey, good reveal, probably. Overall, Bethesda wasn't too bad. Obviously, we all would have loved to see the two biggest projects, but we can't always be so crazy demanding. Maybe. They're working to improve what they've got, but this year I'll likely forget them more than anything else. Thankfully, everyone else involved in E3 is covering the losses with some pretty damn good games so far. So our final point to end off this day is Devolver Digital. It's wacky and weird as ever, and I really love it. And it's got a running storyline, so I gotta commend them for that kind of work. I try doing it myself sometimes on the channel, and I'm going, I guess. First thing they showed off was Fall Guys, looking like a cartoony version of Takeshi's Castle, and I'm invested in seeing more. This looks like a lot of fun, unironically. Great. They also showed off Carry On Beast, looking like a super fun and satisfying reverse horror where you play as the, what is that, like brainy, sludgy, tentacle red monster. I look forward to seeing that too. And finally, for the main three I wanted to talk about, there's Gungeon, House of the Gun-Dead. First of all, solid, great name. But also, it's super cool to see them actually shipping out arcade boxes. This will soon be available in actual arcades and maybe even homes possibly with a super extended price. Either way, if I was rich and I had a bigger house, I would absolutely buy new arcade machines these days. If it's an arcade game that I genuinely like and it works nicely and it's kind of new and not just another Dig Dug, I'd probably do it, honestly. I don't know why I haven't thought of that before. Companies, get on that. Nintendo, make some arcade game boxes. I want them. Either way, at the end of the day, Devolver Digital was really unique, really cool, and interesting, and I like a lot of what I see, surprisingly enough. And this has only been the official, I guess, first day of E3. This is likely to be the main event other than Nintendo, because for day 2 we have smaller events like Ubisoft, and that's really the biggest out of them all. With PlayStation gone, this is probably the most we're gonna get at E3 as well, but it hasn't been a bad E3 either. Many surprises were had, but a lot of games were right up my alley, so I can't really complain there. I'll be streaming Ubisoft later today as well as Nintendo tomorrow, so check that out if you're interested. I'll especially be going into detail with Nintendo and the Treehouse and making all sorts of trailer analyses on that. Otherwise, that is about all I have to cover for today and yesterday's content. But tell me, what were your thoughts of E3 on day 1? Do you think Xbox has already won E3, or do you think Nintendo's got some magical thing up their sleeve? I'd love to hear your thoughts, because hey, it's E3 time. I just want to talk about E3, and I gotta wait till tomorrow until I can actually talk about the good Nintendo stuff, so whatever. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. Otherwise, do check out my streamings of all of E3 on twitch.tv/DazzVideos. But for now, my name's been Daz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.